All right. We have always known that God is the superior being, the Almighty. But now there's scientific proof for the scientists who were unbelievers. The universe had a beginning one time, but scientists thought the universe had always been there before the 20th century. The Cosmic Background Explorer, or Explorer 66, was a satellite dedicated to cosmology, which operated from 1989 to 1993. Its goals were to investigate the cosmic microwave background radiation of the universe, provide measurements that would help shape our understanding of the cosmos. It provided two key pieces of evidence that supported the Big Bang Theory, the one-time event I told you about in another video. It had a near-perfect black body spectrum and very faint, which I can't pronounce the word, anisotropes. Two principal investigators were George Smoot and John Matter. They received the Nobel Prize for Physics. Okay. Edwin Hubble, an American astronomer, through his calculations, discovered it had been one beginning. He discovered that in 1992. Robert Jastrow theory was blown away because the Kolbe experiments gave him new conclusions that the universe came from nothing. George Smoot was in charge of the experiments, and his new concept is there is no doubt that a parallel exists between creation and the first law books of Moses and the Big Bang. Prior to the discovery, many scientists regarded Genesis as unscientific. Now scientists are admitting that Genesis has been right all along. The cosmic explosion happened because it had to be engineered to do so. Universe is finely tuned for life. Physicists calculated that for life to exist, gravity and other laws of physics need to be intricate, tuned just right for universe, or it could not exist. Stephen Hawking writes, if the rate of expansion had been off by 1 second after explosion, by even 1 part in 100,000 million, the universe would have collapsed before it ever reached its present size. If the opposite occurred 1 second before explosions, all galaxies, stars, and planets would have never formed, and we would not be here. For life to exist, conditions in our solar system and even our Earth had to be just right. They realized through experiments that without an atmosphere of oxygen, none of us will be able to breathe. Without oxygen, water could not exist. Without water, there would be no rain for food to grow and other elements that are essential for life. Size, temperature, relative proximity, chemical makeup of our planet, sun, moon, all had to be just right. People who believe in God do not question this, but atheists, scientists, agnostics, were unable to explain the coincidence. Stephen Hawking writes, the remarkable fact is that values of these numbers seem to be very finely adjusted to make possible to develop life. Was the universe an accident or a miracle? The odds against human life existing by chance from a random explosion in history does not exist. Therefore, it is a miracle. For human life to be possible from the Big Bang defies the laws of probability. Astronomers calculate the odds at less than 1 chance in a trillion. George Greenstein began to ask if it's possible that we have stumbled upon the scientific proof of the superior being, the Almighty. But he is agnostic. But to maintain his faith in science rather than a creator, Robert Jastrow explains why they are and were reluctant to accept a creator. They say there's a kind of religion in science The religion of a person who believes there's an order and harmony in the universe. This faith of scientists would be violated by discovery that the world would have a beginning under conditions in which the known laws of physics are not valid as a product of forces or circumstances. We cannot discover would mean scientists have lost control. If they really examine the implications, that would be traumatized if they really examined the implications. Stephen Hawking speculates that all other unseen universes that may exist, increasing the odds that one of them is perfectly fine-tuned for life that is outside the verification, therefore stating that scientific evidence does not align. But Paul Davies dismisses Hawking's idea because there are too many speculatives, and he and others just need to acknowledge that the overwhelming evidence for a creator, thus a miracle, was created. Christopher Hitchens spent much of his life writing and debating against the existence of God, but now there is proof. Stephen Hawking is sticking to his thing that there's some other planet out there like Earth, but the scientists are coming to the realm and understanding that there is one superior being, the Almighty God.